It was raining hard. I pulled over at a dark spot on Route 47 to try and get some sleep. The radio had died hours ago. Phone with no signal. Just rain and the engine cooling down. The cab was cold. My eyes heavy. The darkness around felt thicker than usual. Almost asleep. I heard the first sound. A light knock on the window. 3 slow taps. Thought I imagined it, but the passenger window was fogged from the inside. I slowly sat up, stayed still, watching. 3 more knocks, stronger this time. Grabbed the flashlight, aimed it outside. Nothing but rain, yet something crouched ahead. It moved low, like searching for something. Then it stopped and turned straight at me. Its eyes were pale, pupilless, skin wet and wrinkled like leather dried under sun. When it blinked, I knew that thing didn't belong here, and it had been watching me for a while. I shut the curtain fast. The knocking stopped, but the silence was even louder than before. I lay down pretending calm, but something was walking outside, circling the truck. The rear view showed only night, but for a second a shadow before arms passed by. I grabbed the radio. Static. Then a voice. "You shouldn't have stopped here." Then silence. I locked the door. Looked again. There was something written on the glass. Trembling letters. Open. Started the engine. Ready to flee. But the tires were stuck like glued to the asphalt. Lights flickered in the woods. 3 glowing blue dots like eyes. Just watching. The creature appeared beside the window. Pressed its face, no breath. Just staring. There was no mouth, but I heard a voice inside my head. "Now you remember." The answer was no, but my body shook, as if it had lived this before. I turned the wheel. Nothing. The truck wouldn't respond. Buttons flashed strange symbols. The lights outside all shut off with them. Every bit of power in the truck disappeared. The creature dragged its hand across the glass as if looking for something, or someone. Where it touched, the fog cleared. Cracks formed, slow and icy, like freezing from inside. The radio clicked back on. A recording played. My voice, screaming, "Don't open. It's not human." I wanted to run, but something in the cab held me, like I was being watched from within. In the dim flashlight beam, I saw my face in the windshield, but with its eyes. I turned to the back seat. Black liquid was leaking, but the cab had no water leak. I shut my eyes, counted to 3, opened them. It was gone, but the handprint remained. 5 thin fingers and a 6th mark in the center, shaped like an eye, carved into flesh. The road reappeared, but it wasn't the same. The pavement pulsed with strange glowing symbols. I drove on instinct. The GPS showed only one word, return, but spelled backwards. Every turn, I saw the creature again, always with its back turned, like it was leading me. The radio whispered my name in different voices, ages, and accents I didn't recognize. I passed a truck identical to mine, parked with its door open on the shoulder. I stopped, got out. The cab was empty, but the same handprint with the eye was on the glass. In the sleeper bunk, a jacket mine, and a phone playing back. My voice. "If you thought this was the first time, it's because you haven't accepted what you are." I ran back to my truck, but the steering wheel was gone. In its place, another handprint, and the dashboard flashed. The road only lets go when another soul stops. The forest beside me seemed to move like it was breathing with the creature. I tried to remember when this had started, but my memory slipped away. Lights passed above the road like something massive rotated silently in orbit above. I slammed the window shut, but new handprints formed by themselves one after the other. The radio tuned itself, a strange frequency. It was my mother, calling my name, but she's been dead for years, and still, She repeated, "Don't look at it. Never look straight at it." The creature stood on the hood, its eyes now red, with vertical slits. A metallic taste filled my mouth. The dashboard began to vibrate at the same frequency. Tried to kill the engine. Nothing. Tried the door. The handle melted like hot wax in my hand. In the mirror, her reflection showed me asleep even though my eyes were wide open. I drove, with no control, as if something else was choosing the turns for me. The handprints were now inside the cab, to spreading from glass to metal to skin. The radio started counting. 5, 4, and then silence. The air grew heavier. I opened the curtain. The road was gone. In its place, a field of bodies. On the tarps, they moved slowly, as if alive, but none made a sound. The creature returned outside, but this time, it looked more like me. It placed a hand on its face, where a mouth should be. A second I opened. The dashboard blinked the word Heritage and the hand symbol glowed below. The truck stopped by itself. I was back exactly where everything had started, but the forest was gone, and in its place, only mirrors. The passenger window fogged. Again, a face formed in it. Not hers. Mine. I touched my chest. My heart was beating, but out of rhythm, like in a different cab. Outside, I heard dry footsteps. Each one seemed to suck sound from the air. The creature reflected in all the mirrors, but in different positions in each one. In one, it smiled. In another, I was in its place, knocking on the glass. I closed my eyes, but even in darkness, I still saw. The images were now inside me. "You left the window open." "Inside," said her voice. I didn't hear it, I felt it. My hand moved toward the glass, fingers hypnotized. I wasn't in control. The center display flashed a dot. "Transfer in progress." I screamed, but the sound came late, like hearing my own past echo back at me. When I pulled my hand back, everything was reversed. Sky below, road above. The radio now played voices of other drivers, all saying, "She saw me too." Each voice came in a different language, but I understood them all like memories. I tried to exit the cab. The door opened easily outside. It was night, but the sky was white. I walked a few meters. The truck vanished. Just the engine hum remained, fading. On the ground, I found a mirror. No reflection of me, only her face. Sleeping. Touched the mirror. The image changed. I was outside, begging to be let in. "You forgot what you promised me," the voice said. But I didn't. I ran back, but my seat was taken by me, with solid black eyes. The creature looked out from my body and whispered, "You're the one outside now." My feet no longer touched the ground. I floated gently, like dust in a place without time. Below me, the road beat like a heart. Each white line pulsed like something ancient breathing. The creature stared at me with sadness, like I was her broken version. She placed a hand on my shoulder. I didn't feel touch, just heat. And memory. I saw fast images, crashes, trucks left behind, handprints on windows. It was always her, watching, touching, waiting, until someone opened from the inside. "You let me in when you closed your eyes," she said. That's when it all began. The sky cracked open in spirals of light, like reality being pried apart. The radio stopped. Only one sound remained, like a heart right before it stops. And I understood. I didn't stop here by accident. I was called, and I came. Asterisk, the truck was empty. I stood outside, but I could see myself behind the wheel, still driving. The body moved normally, but the face was hers, and the eyes were mirrors turned inward. Every motion looked natural but lagged, like a memory playing from someone else's mind. I went to the door, tried to open it, locked. But for the first time, I saw my reflection crying. I looked around. Dozens of trucks sat abandoned, frozen in the same exact moment. Each one had the mark on its glass, the six-fingered hand with the eye in the center. Inside each one, someone like me, or who I was, or who I might still become. The creature touched the window and said, "Now, it's your turn to wait for someone to stop." The engine started on its own. The road cleared. The night darkened even more. And on the seat beside me, only the imprint remained, as if someone had just left. The truck disappeared. I remained. But the ground wasn't road, it was glass. And I saw beneath, below, a living city of shadows. Like creatures like her had homes down there. Something pulled me down. Not by force, by memory, like I had belonged. Once, the lights above blinked in sequence. They were signals. A call to return somewhere else. The radio spoke again. But now it used my voice. "Can I come in now?" The creature stood behind me, still, waiting for my answer. "You're already here," I thought. Then she opened her arms and inside was only emptiness. The road trembled. And for a moment, I felt her loneliness, being remembered by no one. The breeze cut the skin, but it wasn't wind, it was memory fading while I hesitated. And when I opened my eyes, I was no longer the one who doubted any of this. I returned to the truck. But now everything was clean. No marks, no smell, no trace. The passenger seat was tidy, as if no one had ever touched it. I pressed the clutch. The dash lit up with one phrase. "First journey begins now." Photos on the visor showed faces I didn't know, but they felt strangely familiar. Opened the glove box. There was a map, but it showed only one spot. The road ahead was straight. No curves, but its texture changed every few meters. The creature walked outside, calm, not touching the ground. She watched me as if testing whether I'd accepted my new role. I stopped on the shoulder. Another truck was coming, same model, low beams. I looked in the mirror. For the first time, I had no reflection at all. The cab seemed to breathe with me, but the sound of my breath echoed out of sync. The sky flickered like an old film, each light a flash of what I didn't want to remember. I saw my childhood, but without my body, just a creature walking where I once stood. She was a substitute, a reminder, or a punishment only the forgotten could become. In reverse gear, everything erased like time, refusing to follow me anymore. The dash rode by itself, ready for final witness. The creature pointed forward. There, a man walked, asking for a ride. I got out, looked at him. It was me, young, afraid, with a backpack on his shoulders. I nodded. He climbed in. The creature sat in the back seat. Now I understood. I was a cab. I was the road. And he was just one more of us. The engine started on its own. But he was driving. I only watched, felt, remembered. Each curve brought a sound, each sound, a name he would soon begin to forget. The creature sat still, but her presence bent time. Everything started again. We reached a stretch of road with no lights, just stars blinking out of rhythm. The radio hissed, but the voice was his, my own. "I've been here, haven't I?" She touched his neck. He slept, but his eyes remained open. I wanted to scream, to wake him, but my mouth was just memory trapped in the cab. The road opened in spirals. The truck floated, but to him, it drove straight. The first mark appeared on the window, as always, before the first curve. And I cried, because I knew she only touches those who forgot who they were before sleep. Time erased everything, but she remembered every face that tried to deny she existed. The cab was now fog and memory, and I was the echo of something that once had a name. The road was no longer a path. It was a cycle, a living thing that feeds on those who stop. She looked at me one last time, and for the first time, she seemed ready to let me go. She pointed to the sky. One light trembled alone, nearly fading into nothing. "If you remember who you were, you can leave," she said, and the world fell silent. I tried, but what I remembered was her, always her, knocking, watching me sleep. The truck braked, gently. The field returned. The road was empty now. I stepped out, and for the first time, I didn't see the truck drive away, because it was no longer a part of me. It had become me. The new road was all fog, but the GPS showed one fixed point: final delivery. The creature was gone, but the handprints now covered every surface inside the cab. Each tap on the dashboard echoed in my chest beating, as if it were now my heart. The driver slept, but he whispered names, all of them mine in versions I never lived. The road blinked in strange patterns, like it wanted to say something back. On the window, phrases appeared. "You stayed. He goes. She's always here." The cab began to vanish, not like smoke, but like memory being erased. My body floated through spaces, but the road remained always here, always open. The creature appeared at the back of the truck with my face now, and the final phrase echoed from the radio: "Now you're the one knocking." My reflection showed in every window of the truck, different ages, same emptiness. Each one smiled differently, but all had the creature's eyes. She walked outside, weightless. Time couldn't bind her anymore. I saw trucks everywhere, frozen in time, parked like memories with no place left. Each had the same mark, the hand with the eye. Each waited for someone. The new driver began coughing. Then his skin turned pale, just like mine. I understood. The process was slow, but it never failed. The road rewrote him. The creature looked at me like a mother watching a child finally accept. I cried without tears. My salt now belonged to this highway. And deep in the mirror, someone still whispered, "Close the window. There's still time." The mirrors disappeared. The cab went dark. Only the radio still made any sound. It played an old song, one I hadn't heard since childhood, but she knew it by heart. She watched me from inside memory, a space between yesterday and never again. She reached out her arm. This time, I reached back. At the touch, I saw it all. Every window, every truck, every ignored moment. It wasn't hate. It was loneliness, a memory crawling toward anyone who dares to see. The road became a spiral. The cab spun with it. My name vanished from the dash. The driver slept with a faint smile now on his lips. She looked at me one last time. "You learned. Now you teach." And in that moment, I knew I didn't survive. I was accepted. Trucks kept appearing, each one a story cut off in the middle of the night. Every reflection I saw was someone about to forget who they were, like I once had. The creature was now part of the road. She appeared only when someone stopped by mistake. But the question remained, if no one stops, who will knock on the window? My body dissolved, but my presence grew with the fog that came before dawn. I had become part of the legend, not a victim, but a messenger of the forgotten. The radio hissed once more. A voice said, "Truck 47 ready to repeat." The cab filled with a new light, but this one didn't illuminate it, erased. The creature sat in the passenger seat, but no longer needed to lead me, because now I knew the way by heart. The road looked like morning, but the sky kept replaying yesterday's sunrise. The new driver awoke. The window was fogged though. No one had touched it outside. The creature wasn't waiting. She was already inside, sitting, ready. I watched it all as shadow, as memory, as a story riddled with no author. He started the engine. The radio confirmed. Route active. Subject accepted. The truck moved slowly, and the road lit up as if swallowing them silently. In the mirror, her mark appeared first, as always, before the curve. With every mile, he forgot. With every turn, she revealed herself. And me, I was just a whisper that says, "Don't look at the window," but he looked, and in that instant, the creature knocked again.